Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. It's boiling hot. It's boiling hot, and Richard and Michael are in Los Angeles, and I'm in Florida.
Two of the balmier places to be
balmier
during the summer.
places. They both have their orange counties, and they both have their high heat indexes. But y'all are hotter than I am recently. What's the temperature there right now, Michael?
Current temperature? Let me look that up. I know it's supposed to be 102 today,
Holy smokes!
but I can look up the current temperature is, drum roll please, 99 degrees.
99.
And
Yeah.
it is currently 10:07 in the morning.
Holy smokes! Well, it's 1 o'clock, and we got 90 here.
Yeah, but you have like 200% humidity.
It's true.
You're actually living in a swamp underneath in the water.
Finoki. Well, I'll tell you what I do to beat the heat. I do what Homer Simpson does and open up the refrigerator and sit there in my tidy whities with a fan blowing. But that's the topic. Mount Rushmore, beating the heat. And who is it that chose it?
That was me.
Okay.
And I think I don't think we need you to ask why I came up with this topic.
Okay.
Today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, since you chose it, let's just get Michael to start off.
Okay. My first choice is a cold, wet towel.
Oh,
listen.
Nice.
That's all you need sometimes. Just soak it up, wrap it around your neck. You're gonna do a little yard work. You're gonna walk the dog. You're gonna go to bed. Just get a cold, wet towel, light right on your back, and you're off to slumberland. Even though you're gonna wake up in a pool of sweat, or it's gonna dry up and become just awful. At some point, anything you're doing is becoming awful. So just accept it. Like when it's 100 degrees out constantly, it's just like it's going to be awful. And then you start saying to yourself, "Why am I doing this? Why am I doing anything? Why am I moving? Why am at least I got the cold wet towel wrapped around my head or something."
Right.
Let me ask you: is beating the heat kind of is it folly? It sounds like it's folly, like what you said. You can't really beat it. You just kind of like evade it for a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a feeling of I literally can't just sit here doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
Especially Richard and I with children, they need to do something, and they can't just sit there and. I guess they could just sit there, just don't do anything,
yeah.
just
don't move,
just watch 11 hours of TV. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. What am I doing?
Well, it seems like that's a very you're starting off at a very kind of simple tactic, and then one in which you don't have to really change where you are. You just grab that towel, go to the fridge.
Yeah,
Michael, have you ever bought, or Jeff either? Have you ever bought one of those cooling bandanas?
No.
You see on TV, or the seen on TV store?
I haven't.
I haven't. My father does a lot of golfing, or a little bit of golfing, and he like swears by this thing that he like snaps, and he's like, it just makes it 20 degrees cooler no matter where you are. And it's like, isn't that just like a cold wet towel, Dad? He's like, no, this one it really doesn't. I'm like, okay. Well,
yeah. How much of that do you think is actually the towel thing, and how much of that is just the placebo effect?
Yeah, you put some placebos on top of the cold wet towel, and you're
right. Then you're golden. Yeah.
Okay, Richard, what's your first choice?
All right, so my first choice is having a friend with a swimming pool. And desperately begging them to let you come over.
Yeah, I have swimming on my list, a swimming pool on my list as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I've never had a swimming pool bigger than a kiddie pool growing up. But I had aunts and uncles who had swimming pools, and friends whose families had swimming pools. And now growing up as we're older, it's, you kind of sort of know when it's super hot, like which friends in your friend group have pools, and how can I ingratiate myself with them to the point that I can finagle an invitation to come over and use the pool when it's blisteringly hot.
Yeah. What does that means? Like a 6-pack of beer? Or what does that mean? Like you're coming home, bringing?
I don't know. It could just be making sure you're extra friendly with them over the summer months,
Yeah.
leading up to the summer months,
Oh, okay.
so that you're
So
in there, you're top of mind with them when the summer
it's
comes.
like mid-March. You just kind of call them for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, just checking in on you, buddy. How you doing?
You drop hints like, did I leave some? I've been looking around for these swimming goggles. Oh, I love swimming. Forgot
That
how much I
was
love.
that
But
was
I've been
so
looking.
so
I'm
long.
looking for these goggles, or like my, I got these new swim trunks.
Hey, I thought I'd come by your house and just drop off a case of chlorine that I just had sitting around.
I got
Kinda-
got these tablets.
I got a bunch of chemicals that happen to be related to swimming pools and keeping them clean.
Now there is a service now called Swimply, which is not a sponsor. Could be, but they're not a sponsor right now.
Swimply?
Yeah, and it's a swimming pool rental service. It's kind
Okay.
of like an Airbnb, but strictly for pools.
It's not like on The Simpsons when Otto was driving that big mobile swim pool up to the house, right? It's different.
It's
These
different. So
Dogtown and Z
basically,
boys show up and
yeah,
start skating
start
around.
skateboarding around your pool.
We signed up
Um,
on Swimply. It's full
no,
of water.
it's literally where if you own a swimming pool and you want to earn a little bit of extra money, you can say, "Hey, on these dates from these times, people can come over and just use our swimming pool."
Yeah.
And if you're on the other side of things, you can pay like it's usually like $60 an hour or something like that
Hmm.
to rent out somebody's backyard for an hour
Yeah.
and come by and just jump in their swimming pool, which is great. We've used it before, but it's kind of creepy
I
just to
I
be in
guess I thought,
somebody's backyard and
yeah.
swimming around in there.
Yeah. And that unless you don't mind binoculars and video cameras
Right.
and things. Yeah.
I gotta say this about swimming. I love it. My son has just gone through swim lessons this year. He's 5 and he's passed with flying colors. He went from he couldn't take a water dripped on top of his face to like standing on the edge of a pool and yelling cannonball and like tipping over and falling in. Just delicious as a father to see your kid learn to swim like in real time and just like, it's so great. Swimming, um, it uh, a swimming pool does this thing where even though it's 105 degrees out, you're thrusting yourself out into this heat. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's going to be hot no matter what. I might as well be in a pool, baking, getting a sunburn. Uh, we have like just certain like family rules of like you just got to keep reapplying. You got to keep putting that sunscreen on
Yeah.
no matter what. It feels great. The water's 82 degrees because it's so hot, and it's amazing. But it's like there's that double-edged sword. That sun is still out to get you. It is. It is. It's funny
It's
because we all grew up not wearing like rash guards and having these other protections that
Oh yeah.
Felix is so
Sure.
used to, like just wearing a t-shirt like this, a long sleeve shirt while he's swimming, and it feels like, oh yeah, he's got it right. We've learned some sort of lesson from
Mm-hmm.
our childhood versus like, oh yeah, I would never put on sunscreen and never would put on an extra shirt to swim. That seems
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
sunscreen.
Yeah,
That's what that. How am I supposed to get a tan?
yeah, baby oil.
Yeah, that was us when we were kids.
Oh, we were also. It was a little bit of a badge of honor if you came back with a sunburn, or something. It shows that you had some kind of financial wherewithal, access to some kind of thing. My okay. What are the downsides? You said a creepy swim pool, or even befriending somebody at the swimming pool. Is there anything weird about like swimming at somebody else's place? Like, is it changing? That's awkward sometimes, or no? You
No,
show up
I
and
don't think so. I think I mean, you don't know who else has been in the pool.
yeah,
Which knowing our group of friends,
yeah,
that could be a consideration.
yeah. With the amount of beverages that are consumed too, so
Yeah, and look, somebody's peeing in that pool.
yeah,
We
yeah.
all know that, and I'll get into that later with a separate pick. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Well, I think Richard, maybe you do another one to catch up because Winfield was doing swimming too, so he's at 2, and now you'll be at 2.
yeah. So my second choice: always hydrate, you guys. I can't emphasize this enough.
Is this a choice or is this just a PSA in the middle of
This is from the ad council here.
What you do is you take the cold, wet towel and you wring it out.
into your mouth?
Just slurp
That's
it up.
right. Oh, I cannot tell you how many times I grew up. So I grew up in the Central Valley, where it frequently of California,
Mhm,
near Fresno, where it frequently gets in the summer 110 degrees,
mhm.
maybe. Um, and and I was an idiot about hydrating when I was younger. I just had I drank soda,
Oh,
basically, is what I drank. Water was something that was an occasional beverage for me, but we would go into the uh, gym of the high school, which had no windows and no air conditioning. But one of the teachers would unlock it for us over the summer, and we would play basketball for like 2 hours in the gym, just sweltering and dying. And I can't tell you how many legitimate like heat strokes I got over the years.
whoa.
Like
I'm
legitimate
sorry to laugh.
like puking and shaking and the whole 9 yards. And my parents, of course, being the warm and caring parents that they were just like, well, what did you expect, dummy? Basically, here, have some water. And so eventually I've learned my lesson. And you guys can see right now, I'm holding up in the video chat here my
Mhm.
giant carafe of water that I'm drinking from. And I can't emphasize this enough. Make sure you're drinking water. Don't drink anything that's going to dehydrate you, like soda or coffee or anything like that. Keep that water going. If you think you've had enough water, have some more water.
Hmm.
I love these dumbass olds that are out there that are like, I didn't grow up drinking water.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, what are all these kids doing? You don't have to drink this much water. What is this stance against water? What
The
what
anti-waterites.
what are how did water become a villain?
Mhm.
It feels like that same sort of like all this like student loan forgiveness stuff. Like I've suffered, so now you too have to suffer. Just drink the goddamn water. Let my child carry around his little Mickey Mouse straw sippy thing that he loves to
Mhm.
carry everywhere and drink water. It's good for his kidneys. It's
Do
good
you
for
think?
staying hydrated. Why do these kids have like this? These people have like this anti hydration. I hate to sound like the water boy, but like just drink water. It's good for you.
It's good. It tastes good. It's
Do you
great.
think it might
Water's
be?
great.
Is it bottled water that they're? Because I know there's a generation who grew up without bottled that much bottled water
I
access.
don't know. I think that there is eh, I, like a faux toughness that exists out there
Mhm.
that of having to have
Hmm.
gone through the water wars of yore before it turned into something out of Mad Max or I don't know what. But it's very strange the notion that things were bad for me, so they have to be bad for you and all subsequent generations,
Yeah.
and that one of the battles is water. Very
Yeah.
that's like sorry people
When
didn't
I
know
was
that.
playing high school football, my coach gave us one thimbleful of water every day
Yeah,
and a salt tablet. And that's what we did.
I'm amazed that I think I've said this on the podcast before. For some people, the only status is victim status. Like
mm.
I'm never going to be,
Yeah.
I'm never going to be the head of anything or the king of anything. So if I can be king victim, then then I won. And with that, we go to our halftime, and we'd like to thank all of our sponsors: Cold Wet Towel,
Yeah.
Swimbly, and Aquafina today for sponsoring the podcast. And you can help bring those organizations into the black and success by going to our podcast homepage, which is mountrushmorepodcast.com, and then going there and clicking around, see if you can find all the Easter eggs that we've hidden in that page. And by that I mean podcast episodes.
Yeah, look for all the like the hidden QR codes that just link back to the same page that you're on.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Look
Just
at the different segments that show lists that are all the same list of the top. Just our podcast sequentially posted.
They're just in a different order. Some's alphabetical, some's reverse alphabetical.
Yeah. Let's do a search contest. Search for any word you can think of and see if we mention it, like
Oh, that's great.
discombobulate or defenestrate or something like that.
Other words that begin with D.
The D.
Yes.
I could think
Only
of the spectrum from D to D. You know what's on my mind? I got the D on my mind.
There you go.
All right, so now we're gonna go with Winfield because he hasn't spoken in a while.
That's right. I've just been talking. For
I must
20
be heard.
minutes. My third choice is when it's a very current feeling of working from home and being really excited to go to the office because they have just better AC
Yeah.
than we have at home. It's like, wow, I can turn my AC off for 6 hours today, and I don't have to pay for that, and I can go to the office and be in that gorgeous office AC where hopefully no one else will have figured out this trick.
Yeah.
I gotta do that. It's weird to think that like that feels like an escape of just like, well, I know I got to work, and I know it's going to be anywhere from 98 to 101 today, and I got to drive, I guess, 35 miles, but I'll be in that cool AC.
Cool air.
I think that's where a lot of like businesses have really, I think, with so many work from home situations. My old company, when I worked in like the facilities department, like battling the gigantic AC units on top of the roof was always an issue. Like you have these huge, 2-ton units that are just like, trying to fill up 17,000 square feet of office space. In the last year, we've gone from like 17,000 square feet down to, I don't know, it's the size of a, small house, basically. It's like a 3,300 square feet. We've reduced our footprint dramatically because of all the work from home stuff. So I can't imagine just all of like the electricity bills that have been saved by my company from like the downsizing of just space. But I think of, man, when I can get into that office, I don't necessarily want to be there, but I appreciate that there is a little respite there.
Wow. That seems like they're not talking about that on CNN. There's the quiet quitting, the great resignation. There's not the free AC generation.
Right.
Okay, Manfredi, what's your third?
All right, my third choice is related to the swimming pool, but not the swimming pool. It is going to the water park.
Oh, cool.
Your growing up, we had Clovis Lakes, which later got rebranded as Wild Water Adventures. I guess down here in Los Angeles, we have Raging Waters and a few other places.
I think there's a Roaring Rapids.
Roaring Rapids, yeah. So they all have R names, a lot of R names involved with it.
The Rockin' Ravine, the LA Ravine, has been rebranded.
Or you can just go take a dip in the LA River.
Yeah, Chavez
The
Ravine.
raging LA River. And look, the water park is great when you're a teenager. It's not so great when you're an adult if you're going there and you don't have kids.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That's really creepy, you guys. I remember being a teenager and going and seeing the single adults there or seeing the group of adults there.
Yeah.
Sliding down the water slide and just thinking, don't you have something better to be doing than this? This is your best option for keeping cool.
Yeah.
There is one in, oh heck, where is it? Somewhere up at the San Gabriel Valley, and I'm totally blanking on the name. It is a smaller water park that is actually like an actual city park, and they have a lazy river. And every once in a while, we'll take the kids out to the lazy river. And oh, I will say this, that is so nice. Just to spend an hour just floating in your inner tube, just around in a big circle on the water. Let the splash of the water on you every once in a while to keep you cool. oh, that's really pleasant. But the rest of the time is sort of like, and I never liked going to the public swimming pool when I was growing up because I knew how many kids were peeing in that pool. That pool was like 30% piss, right? And I feel that number has got to be even higher at the splash zone wave pool at Roaring Rapids. Um, but yeah, there was always fun as a kid. You know, you're a teenager. Hey, you get to check out all the other teenage girls and all the teenage girls in swimsuits. That was always exciting.
Yeah.
Um, you get to try and like get a train going of 5 or 6 kids going down the water slide until they would yell at you to stop doing that. Got to try and see if you could launch yourself over one, when they have like the 4 water slides next to each other. If you could try to launch yourself up from one into the next one. Okay, there's always like the giant 70-foot tall like thing where the death drop that you would go down.
Yeah.
There I always felt like this looks really unsafe. And I feel very confident that somebody's gonna like lose a leg on this. So there was just a lot going on at the water park, and I have not been to a legitimate park in many years because my son Simon hates the water. He is like
Mhm.
Felix was pre-swim lessons, except we tried to get
Oh.
him swim lessons and he rebelled against them and wanted nothing to do with jumping in the water. He
Oh.
would swim okay, but he just the actual part where you have to jump from the side of the pool into the pool, he was
Hmm.
done with that. So we haven't gone to one in a while, but yeah, the water park, man.
What
If you
about a
got if you got kids, you've got an excuse to go.
what about like a splash pad, that sort of thing? They have those that pop up over here and there.
I'm not getting in the splash pad, so it's not doing me any good.
Did you have rumors that like people died on the water slides, and it always seemed like there was some story that somebody died,
Oh
and then
yeah,
you'd read the paper and you go, nope, it wasn't a rumor. Somebody died.
somebody actually died. Sounds like a kind of the finest. Was that the finest water park in Kansas,
Yeah,
Jeff?
Wet Willies or something like that. I forget what it was.
It's just a guy with a piece of tarp on down a
Yeah,
hill, and he's got a hose on it.
yeah. Well, they hired the same guy who like does body work on your Corvette to make these like water these fiberglass monstrosities, and
Yeah,
you just like you said on the approach, you just look and go, no. This thing is not safe. Creaking timbers is like what you hear if you walk up.
back Skinner Alley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just but yeah, the stuff, the cheap thrills of adolescence, of seeing, uh girls in bikinis and whatnot. So that stuff was always fun. I always had bad enough body image that I didn't want to take my shirt off ever.
Mm. Oh,
Never.
really?
Yeah, never.
Huh.
Yeah, still the same. uh Winfield, are you gonna wrap it up with this last?
Yeah, my
Okay.
last choice is, you're trying to beat the Heat. I don't
Yeah,
know if you're ever going to win, but you're trying to stay in the game as long as you can, right?
yeah,
You just got to check off a couple of hours here and there. Going to a movie theater is the
okay,
Oh,
best.
my last choice as well.
Okay,
okay.
it's the best way. You're going to kill 90 minutes to 2 hours or 3 hours if you're in like going to see like a longer, more epic movie or
Yeah,
whatever. But like, you know that the theater is going to be air conditioned. You know you're going to have a giant cold soda. You know that um, you're just out of the sun in a dark room for 2 hours. And like I said, you're never gonna defeat this giant ball of exploding gas that is
mhm,
blasting you with heat. But if you can get out of it for a couple hours, if you can just scooch away and hide away, and you feel like you've done something, and I think that's it. I think that if you're sitting in and watching TV, you don't feel like you're doing anything. But if you're going to a theater, oh, I'm going to watch a movie. Now we're talking. Now we've
yeah.
successfully, and then you get out of it, you leave the movie theater, and then you start to melt, and you're like, oh fuck, fuck. Oh, I forgot. I was in Narnia for 2.5 hours, and now, oh yeah, that's right.
I love the box office people, like, one ticket for the movie. Like, what
Legitimately don't care,
which
whatever it
movie? I
is.
don't care. I don't care. I don't care. What was the coldest movie?
The coldest movie.
And it's even better if the movie theater is attached to a mall,
Mm,
Oh yeah.
because then you can leave the movie theater and walk around the mall for a couple of hours and extend the time before you have to go back into the baking hellscape.
Mm-hmm.
good point. Good addition.
Yeah.
I have fallen asleep at many a movie over the years, and usually it's when it's the summer and you're coming in from it's super hot, it's stupid hot,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get into the movie theater and it's like a balmy 63 degrees in there,
Mm-hmm.
and that just knocks me out. So if the movie is even slightly less than enthralling,
Yeah.
there's a good chance I'm getting some Mimi's time in the movie theater.
The latest Merchant Ivory film will not keep you awake.
Not quite as enthralling as I need it to be. No.
Okay, so let's do some ranking here. Let's go with movie theater. Let's go with. Did we do swimming pool?
Yep.
Because they're both the things. And hey, I want to strike one for the capitalists of America. Let's go with sneaking into work. Sneaking into the office to work at the office with the AC. And Richard, controversy here. I remember you. Was there a story you shared about like soaking in a mud pond or something like that? Like,
Do you
What?
remember,
What
Richard,
am I on?
do you remember that one where you're just like a pig in
yeah,
shit that one time
Yeah.
a pig in a
for
trough.
7 years straight?
Awful
Oh,
or
there was
something.
something like you filled in the garage with mud. I forget what it was. No, you were
No.
talking about eating tar at one point. I thought there
Well,
was
that was
around.
my mom when she was younger,
Okay,
but
like
that has
eight.
nothing to do with me.
God, I thought you were like talking about like taking a mud bath or something. I'm not being
No.
facetious here. I forget
No.
what it was because it sounded very idyllic. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to choose that one. And
Should I, Michael? Should I be really offended right now?
no, I thought you were telling
No,
us.
just regular.
Just more.
offended. You don't have to go. You don't have to be really
Story.
offended.
I thought you told a story years ago about something about. God, why did I think it was in the garage? Like you filled the garage. There was like a mud floor in the garage or something like that.
No.
Just typical Fresno shit. Okay.
I mean,
Right.
I'm not saying that's something that didn't happen in Fresno. I just probably didn't. I just don't remember
Okay.
telling that story.
And this is the PSA. Always hydrate.
Yeah.
It's to always hydrate, just because there's people out there who just need to take a drink of water.
Yeah, I'm going to go take my dog for a walk in this heat right now after we're done with this recording.
Okay.
And then I will immediately need to come back inside and take one of those Jacob's Ladder type ice baths that are like super painful because it's 200 degrees outside.
Yeah. I've never heard Jacob's Ladder for the Tim Robbins ice bath scene. Okay, this has been the Mount Rushmore of cool yourself before you fool yourself. I'm always Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.
I'm Mud Man Freddy.